Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where we are currently working on slightly murdering this fine gentleman, and I think we continue with it. Even though we had a bad breach, it's going to take us a while to work this up, but I think that's absolutely fine. Let's take gold here. That looks good. Do I have any constructions to do? Yes. Up here in Tiberias, let's build this is going to be a great hospital. Do it. We do have some issues going on here, of course, and that seems fine for now. So, I noticed a weird issue when I first loaded this up. Full disclosure, this is actually my second attempt at recording this episode at this point. And I'm going to make a save here, because I think I can reproduce the issue. And the issue is this. So, if we go in here, our player heir and half-brother is here, right? He's feeling fine. Interesting. And he is not betrothed at this point. Okay, so that is something that has changed from my last attempt. I don't want to install the Java SE runtime environment right now. Go away. That's very rude. No, I don't want to do that. There's no reason to do this right now. Okay, so as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by an auto update, the issue here is the moment I entered the duchy view previously, and I don't know if it'll happen again this time, but I suspect it will. The moment I entered the duchy view, this guy was no longer our player heir and lost all of his positioning here. Let's see if it happens again. No. Okay. So I did things a little differently this time. We tick forward. Oh, no, there it goes. So our daughter is now our player heir. That took a little while, but that's bizarre. This does not happen if we don't open the duchy titles view. I have no explanation for why this is happening. So if we go over to our half-brother here, who was our previous heir, there's no reason why he's no longer our heir. None. But the awkward thing here is our son is the only person who can be a Raban in our entire nation. That's incredibly, incredibly awkward. Because that means that we have some weird situations here. He can't actually inherit as a Raban, but he can be in line. And I'm going to reload this. We're just not going to open that duchy view, but this is a save that I made just before I started talking about this. If we tick forward without opening that duchy view, then I believe that that will not happen. That's the theory anyway. That's what my testing seems to indicate. It's incredibly strange. Incredibly, incredibly strange. So now we tick forward. Let's go to, I don't know, like a month tick here. Okay, so we've arrived home. And we're now in September. We got our monthly income there. This guy is still our heir. If we make another save here, and then go into the duchy view, give it a moment. Nothing is happening this time. Okay. This is good that nothing has happened. Oh. Oh. Is it when we mouse over the province of Shamar? Hang on. This is a new development. Okay. This is wild stuff. I'll be right back while this loads. Okay. So here we are loaded back in. Now, at this point, our player heir is our half-brother. That's fine. We go into the duchy view, and we know that when we moused over Shamar, problems ensued. Will that happen with other duchies? Yes. If we mouse over any duchy, it changes all of this. For some reason, Governor Taman loses all of... Oh... I think I know what it is. Hang on. I think I know what it is. If we view the succession here, and we look at Tanar is no longer even in this. I think the reason for that is because he got landed. I think that's the reason. So he got landed out over here. He's now a governor, and that gives a minus 1,000 to everything over here. It's really strange that that's only happening when we mouse over a duchy in the duchy view. So I think the actual bug here isn't that that's happening. I think the bug here is that it's only updating in that very strange manner. I think that's what we've got going on there. So that's definitely very, very, very strange. Now, we're just going to deal with it at this point. I'm going to head forward, and we're just going to be like, you know what? That's fine. It's awkward, but it was always going to be awkward. So at this point, our wife is 38. I wish we had more than 2 children. I really do. Our main problem here is that Hoshea is our Rabban. We don't have anyone else that we can appoint to that. And I know for a fact that that's true because in my previous attempt, after I started running tests on what was going on there, in my previous attempt, I did an imprison here and succeeded this 93% chance and determined, yes, there is no one in our realm other than Hoshea who can be our Rabban. And we have to have a Rabban because we can't grant out bishoprics without it. So that's very awkward. Now, there is a solution here, and one solution that we can do is we can just convert. Can we continue to practice in secret? Let's see. Faith conversion view. So this is adopt the state faith. I want to continue to practice rabbinism in secret, though. How do we do that? I know that's a thing that you can do. So adopting the state faith would not do this. This is a true conversion to Orthodoxy, I believe. Now, this would help us in a lot of ways. So this is not necessarily a bad thing to do. But I would definitely like to continue to do rabbinism in secret, or we could just convert back later. That's also a theoretical option. I don't really want to give up rabbinism, and the question is, how do we go about doing that? Do we need... Yeah, so we would need to be rabbinic, and we might be able to just convert back later on. This is a distinctly interesting option, though. So this would solve a lot of our issues at this moment. And I'm definitely tempted to do it. I'm very tempted to do it. Yeah, these are not the type of court positions that I'm looking for. So I think we have no real option here but to convert. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to state for the purposes of this series that this is a fake conversion. We are outwardly converting to Orthodoxy, and we are secretly remaining rabbinic. I don't see an option to do that. I know this is something the game supports under certain circumstances, but we're going to say that. And then we can convert back to faith here, but it would be a whole thing. So that's something we'll probably look to do later on in the Mega campaign. But for now, I want to sell trivial titles, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll get some gold flowing in. And then over here in Nablus, we can definitely upgrade our workshops. Okay, so we have a new realm priest, and now I want to designate this guy as our heir. But we would need 500 prestige for that. Okay. True and loyal vassal indeed. So that looks good. That gives us some additional gold. And now what we need is some prestige. So to that end, I want to host a feast. So let's see what we've got going on here. So we're going to host this feast here in Jerusalem, and we're going to crank this absolutely to the top. There we go. 748. Recreation is fine. Although, We could do a murder feast here. Who would we be interested in murdering? Well, I'm kind of thinking this guy, Lord Theodotos the Fat. We'll see if he'll even show up to our feast. But yeah, that's definitely an interesting thing to do. So we can do this, and this is not the murder feast technically, but our aspiration would be to murder. So that would be this. Hang on. Close this. There we go. Intent needs a target. Okay. So this would be ideally Theodotos the Fat. Yes, this guy. Oh, right. We have to do it from this screen. There we go. Perfect. So then we would crank this up to the top, like so. There we go. And start that feast. Okay, so now that we've converted over, that'll give us a lot of benefits. Did that? The Republic of NASA. Okay, that's cool. So at this point, I want to check in on our position here, right? So the imperial family is not the most powerful family. That's not shocking. At this point, we are actually pretty close here. So that looks good. We can definitely bring up that level of influence, which we're going to work on here. And we're currently working on this lad. So scheme phase duration on this is pretty slow. And we're a long ways away from this. I'm just going to abandon this. Okay, so that's fine for now. And then I want to come in here and look at this guy. Now, he is currently in poor health. He is 60 years old. Okay. This guy is disfigured, but I would definitely like to work on maybe him. Sure, let's see how this is going to go. Actually, this isn't too bad. So 125 days. Noted. This lady would join right away. I want to get this guy in, I feel like. So as far as assassins go, you would do for the time being, and then you would do. Okay, that gets us up high enough there. As far as the alibi goes, I'd like to get somebody a little bit better in here, so we're going to need some scheme advantages. We can maybe throw some money at one of these guys, like this guy here. We would want to do piety. Piety will do the trick. That looks good. We've got lots and lots of piety, so I don't mind that. At this point, I would like to get this guy in. So that's going to be quite a lot. Yeah, we're going to need to definitely get some work done on that guy. Okay, so we'll build up a couple of advantages here. That looks good. So our feast is going to begin in 7 months. Our honorary guest is, I think, on his way, so that seems fantastic. And I do want to continue to bring up our amount of influence, which we will certainly do. And I'm checking in over here to see if we have any constructions. Looks like we need more money for that. Okay, the Emperor was not swayed, and this guy transferred Kiziljar to Crimea. Okay. That seems fine for now. So arbitrary arrests, huh? Minus 25% secrecy? Sure. So we have one advantage at this point. We need to wait until we have 3, and that's going to give us potentially some secrecy issues. So that's absolutely understood. Liege entered an entrenched regency with his sister? Okay. So we have a dangerous faction here. I don't care about that, to be honest. It's perfectly fine. That feast is going to begin in about 4 months. Our brother is now our player heir. Can we not? Like, I want to just have this guy be our player heir. We'll designate him as our heir soon enough. As soon as we get enough prestige, which this feast will likely get us what we need there. So powder houses have been constructed, and over here in Buzra, I would like to build farms and fields. Perfect. We'll get that underway. That looks good. These plagues are going away, which is excellent. And I want to check in on... Let's see, we're increasing control in... Where is this? Karak? We don't really need to be up there right now. So I want to go over to Jaffa for the moment. This is actually very close to capped. Yeah, both of these are. Okay. Well, that seems relatively fine for now. Great Hospital has been constructed, and we do want to get more of that going. 720 gold. Yeah, we'll spare no expense to rebuild. So that looks fine for now. We're now known as the Greedy. That's not great for our prestige. So that's understood. Our feast is beginning. Excellent. Welcome, friends. So we'll see what ends up happening here. What a good evening. Okay, what do we got here? We're an eager reveler, and everyone is going to gain some opinion. We gain 75 prestige because our honored guest was honored. Okay, cool. We can spend 75 prestige for a lively feast. But that's our only option. We have to. Unfortunate, but here we are. Observant of details and intrigue lifestyle experience. Actually, this is good. Cool. That's absolutely great. And keep me in your hearts, vassals. Okay. So, Lord Theodotos the Fat would be highly esteemed. No, but you're all very welcome for my hospitality. So we're going to gain some prestige out of that. There we go. He took it personally, but, you know. He's also, hopefully not going to last too much longer, but apparently he does. We did not manage to do any murdering. I didn't even see any events for that. Maybe we have to be plotting against him at the time. This is a different Theodotos. I want to be clear about that. So that's absolutely the case. So we can extort our subjects, and we shall. Excellent. And up here in Damascus, we can build a hospital upgrade. In Tiberias, we can build a farms and fields upgrade. So that seems absolutely great. We can demand payment from our vassal here. May as well. That seems fine. And at this point, we have 3 advantages. So I would love to bring in... This guy's refusing now. Yeah, that's not shocking. We'll actually just bring in this governess. As far as the alibi goes, this guy would be the best that we could do. Okay, so we can leverage some scheme advantages. We can leverage our piety, and that is actually enough. Actually, we can just sit here. Done. So we're at least at 35 secrecy at this point. But this is going to take a little bit of time. That's understood. So our sister died from being ill. That is unfortunate. Okay, what do we got here? 50 gold for 2 advantages? Or 150 prestige. We will take the advantages. That seems fine. So for the time being, that's looking reasonably good. Now, as far as our ability to actually become the leader of the Byzantines go, this is going to be a lot easier now. So we're 18th in line. If we were to influence this candidacy, the top that we could make it to would be plus 274. Okay, so we would need to bring this up quite a number of times like this, and we have a lot of influence, so we may want to do that, but this would be like 5-ish times, and we're just not going to be able to get there. So we can expand our power base and potentially increase our investment capacity. So that's something that we will do at the same time here. So Lord Theodotos the Fat is actually interested in joining this. Let's bring this guy in here. These are pretty long phase durations, but we can reduce those down. And then we can bring these guys in, and this is pretty much just free. So that seems fine. We're already at 43% on that, so sure. Looks fine. So our liege is converting Haran to Orthodoxy, and that's understood. We just discovered promissory notes, and it says a new innovation can be selected, but I don't think we have anything at this point. I'm pretty sure everything is unlocked. Yes. So there are no new technologies to be unlocked at this time. Okay. So that sounds good. And at this point, I think we're just setting our targets on the Byzantine Empire, just straight up. So we're currently at number 16 here. And 150, sure. So I would absolutely love to get swift execution here. That would be a big, big deal. This is coming up a decent amount. Okay, so we're at 55% on this power base expansion now. We definitely need to expand our power base. And how much is that going to expand it by? I don't know. We'll find out. So currently, we can go up, if we influence this candidacy, we can bring this up by 280, right? So that's understood. Okay, we do have a number of things there. So the Magistracy of Homes we just inherited, and we don't want to have this. So we're going to grant this right on out. Perfect. And we have some gold at this point. So let's go to Jaffa and upgrade these windmills. That'll be perfect. Grain silos were also completed. So that is, of course, getting us additional influence, which we are delighted to have. Oh, we just got Baalbek. Okay. And our heir flagellated himself to death. Well, that was our brother. So that's fine, I suppose. At this point, what I want to do is I want to... Oh, we have a new son? Wild. I didn't expect that. I don't know when that happened. Okay, so our son is currently our heir, and that's what we want. So he's in line for a lot of this stuff. He's losing Palmyra right now, and for the moment, I'm not terribly concerned about that. My schemes are currently set on somewhat higher targets. Specifically, I want to get the Byzantine Empire. We're currently working on taking out this guy. But he's not our main competition right now. Never. A peasant's law is to serve their lord. This is going to generate us additional influence, so that is great. Let's drop our men-at-arms right here. Perfect. And we're just going to hop in, take them out, hop up over here, and hop on up over here. Perfect. So that war's done. Nothing else to be done there. Okay, so right now, we got an unpressed claim, apparently I cannot speak, on the Magistracy of Cilicia. Where is this? Oh. Okay. Lord Theodotos the Fat. Okay, sure. So, I do want to deal with Lord Theodotos the Fat next. That is absolutely going to be a big deal for us, and we are going to deal with him soon. They will embrace the right faith soon enough, I'm sure. We'll convert Jerusalem, but we're only doing this performatively. We'll convert back eventually. So that looks fine for now. And then we'll take this over. Perfect. So at this point, we are going to enforce these demands. There we go. And we gained 60 influence out of that. Perfect. Let's disband our men-at-arms. Excellent. And at this point, we are basically maxed on this. Let's go ahead and execute expanding the power base. We don't actually have the... We need to wait until we have 5 advantages. So that'll be a little bit. Bird sighting up in Baalbek. Okay, I don't really care about that. So that seems relatively fine. We do have public land up over here. So let's take this governance issue, and this looks fine. So off we go. Fantastic. We gain some gold and some dread and lose some stress. There we go. That'll do. Okay, so back up at Damascus. What do we got here? 60 influence, and yeah, that looks great. Done. So 60 additional influence is, of course, fantastic. We'd like to get up to Imperius, ideally. Okay, we are greedy. We don't have time for filthy orphans. Perfect. So at this point, we are ready to execute this. This is not going to get any better. So let's go ahead and seize the moment. And we succeeded in expanding our power base. Excellent. So this is going to give us plus 30% investment capacity. That's actually pretty decent. We can't expand our power base again for 10 years, so that's fine. So at this point, if we look at this, and we influence the candidacy for ourselves, this would bring us up to 305. Okay. So that would get us up there, for sure. But not exactly where we want to be yet. I wish we could run 2 murder schemes at the same time. That would be really neat. Unfortunately, we cannot do that. So we have an available perk here. We're going to take Swift Execution here for 20-day phase duration. That's actually huge. That brings us down to 43. Yeah, that's enormous. So that seems great. Very, very good there. Studious scheming, huh? Intrigue challenge against us. 78% chance of our intrigue going up by 2. Done. And we got it. So our intrigue went up by 2. That's great. We're really happy about that. What is this? Oh, he wants to marry our daughter? No. Although our daughter should marry. So let's see here. We want someone who will do a matrilineal marriage. She's pretty close here. Wait, the Serene Doge of Pisa would do a matrilineal marriage? Done. Okay, that's kind of wild. And he doesn't have any children right now. Okay. Cool. So, you know, that's a little awkward. No doubt about it. That's this guy out over here. Is he within the Byzantine Empire? He is not. Okay. So, yeah. I don't know that that'll actually do anything. She's 39, right? We'll see. It might happen. So at this point, we're at 34% out over here. That looks good. Excommunication comes through. Sure, whatever. So 34% is looking decent here. We need that to continue to come up. New nobility has happened. Sure. And I want to check in on this status right now. So 904, 896, 727. Noted. All we really need to do, though, is become a powerful family. We're here. We need to get to here. That basically means that we need more governorships or living house members. Well, this guy being alive is definitely useful in that regard. Our player heir and son, I wish that he would have more children too, to be honest. He is also still Hebrew, which I'm actually fine with. That seems okay. So for the time being, this seems absolutely fine. It is time to put a cut in, though, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue working on removing some of these people who are ahead of us in line here. We have bumped up the line quite a ways, and we can invest quite a lot into this, although it will be expensive. So that will take a little bit of time. Over here in Tiberias, I want to put in a farms and fields. There we go. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.